crafters, this is Suzanne from A Creative Muse, and let's continue with the Mother's Day mini album. Now we're going to do the covers for the mini album, matting the covers. Alrighty, let's get started. Okay, so are you seeing the end in sight? Alrighty, so you're going to need a few things. 2 sheets, if you're following exactly how I did it. 2 sheets of the green pattern paper, and this 1 sheet of this one here with this flower on both ends. And I used this one because if I had used this for the cover, these flowers kind of orient. This one is down, down, that one is up. This one has more of a bloom for the cover. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway. Alrighty. But I didn't waste this one. I used it for a tag. Okay, so we have those 3 sheets of cardstock. Also, this is where I'm going to use my hem tape, my 1/4 inch hem tape. This is, I'm going to pop the picture in now. I did link it, that you can find it on Amazon, but this is also sold at Joann's. It's sold at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, I want to say even Walmart, but I'm not sure if everywhere carries it at a 1/4 inch. My first roll of this was wider. It's going to be, that I think was, if it's not 1/2 inch, it's like 3/8 of an inch. That can work, but the ribbon is a little thin, so if you do get the thicker one, just know you're going to have some exposed, but it's fine. Reason why I like the hem tape, it's made to hold down fabric, and it doesn't have bulk. It's thin, just like our, you know, double-sided tape. Why you don't want to use a hot glue gun? Hot glue gun is going to show through. It's going to have, you know, you can't control the hot glue gun. You're going to have to spread it flat, grab it immediately, and it's going to be like this on the paper. And these cardstock and pattern paper are not very thick, so it's going to show itself. Also, Scor-Tape is not made for fabric. None of these double-sided, they'll hold a little bit, but it's going to lift. So I like to do the hem tape, and then also, I should have brought my packing tape and a little piece of packing tape. Packing tape is also flat too. I do packing tape on the top just to make sure it stays completely secure. I had to get some shipping tape. This is Target heavy-duty shipping tape. And then this is the organza ribbon. I had shown this and gave you the information in the supply video, and I also have it linked below because I kept on relinking the posting the craft supplies used for this album. Alrighty, so this is how I did. I have to adhere the ribbon first. I came about this much in, just to make sure that, you know, she doesn't pull. And I went about cut long, so this is almost 12. I don't need it this long, but I'm going to do that anyway. Going to use my other Tim Holtz scissors because this one is super sharp. Come on. There we go. And then the other side, I can just measure it up with this one. That's long enough. It's better to be long than to be short and go through all of these steps and all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, this thing can't tie. Then you can always trim it off. But this is nice organza. See, everything I'm using is flat, thin and flat. Now you're going to take that flat edge. I'm going to roll out a little bit of my hem tape. I'm going to go about, what is this? 2.5 inches in. Turn it over. Stick it on the back. Like so. I found this, I mean, not a lot of crafters use this, but when I was making scrapbook, I started out doing scrapbooking and we would put like ribbon and lace. Scor-Tape, it wasn't working, but this was holding. This was holding because it's made for hemming pants. Whatever you need to hem. Remove the tape backing. There it is exposed. Now I'm going to put it on here, but I'm going to center it top to bottom, but I'm not going to go all the way out here with the adhesive. I'm going to go Well, yeah, I could actually. I could go very, very close. Let me stand up and make sure that I'm centered. Yeah, just making sure that I'm on page 1. Come about here. Am I halfway? I feel like I'm halfway. Whoops. There we go. There's a little bit of give. Yep. That looks good for me. This is a time that you can adjust if you need to. Then I took some packing tape, shipping tape, like so, and did the top. Now don't go all the way out to the edge, because this is going to be, you're going to see that edge come in about 1/4 of an inch or so in. And I just put that on just to secure all of this. Put it on smooth. See, because right now it's still flat. It's not going to be like, what's that bump? If you see a bump, it's going to be like, you have to be looking for it to know that it's there. But now I have my ribbon adhered. So that's one. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do the back. Again with the hem tape. So you can find this. I know I've seen it at Walmart, but I didn't see it at this size. This, when I did link it on Amazon, I had bought it already. So it looks like at this size, at the 1/4 inch, I bought it on Amazon. It's usually 3/8 or 1/2 that you're going to see, or bigger. And you could just have the edges exposed. If you can't find it and you don't want to shop from Amazon, no problem. Just go to Walmart or Joann's and find it. It's the no-sew tape. So it's definitely made for fabric. So this was just one of my little crafty hacks. I don't see anybody else using it. I was always using it and I'm like, how come nobody else is using this stuff? It works just like double-sided tape, just for fabric. Alrighty, here we go. Come here. I can see, I don't think you guys can see, but I can see where the tape is. You know what, let me come down. All right, I'm zooming it in now. So I'm showing you. You see where the tape is, and let me see if you can see. It's hard, there. You can see where the tape ends right there. I can see it with my naked eye. It's just hard to get it on the camera. But I'm not pushing this all the way up to the edge. I'm giving it just a little bit of a wiggle. Just a hair wiggle. Again, centered. Wait, where am I? There it is. There it is. I can feel it. Okay, that's lean. This doesn't matter. What matters is right there. And there I go. Now I'm going to put my piece of packing tape. I hope you're enjoying making the album. I know one person said, oh, she's having a ball making this album. I'm really trying to keep it, you know, I'm trying to remember where I was when I started making albums, you know, how I started, and I was like, oh, and how to kind of not hit so many walls. And Kathy has, like I said, great tutorials. If you're really, really into it, like I made one and then all of a sudden I was into it. My first mini album actually was those envelopes, when you stuff envelopes in, but those are okay. They're not bad. They just don't have as much, what's the word I'm looking for? Body. They don't hold as much. They're, you know, if you're using pre-made envelopes, I guess if you make your own envelopes, then you could use basil and make it, you know, thicker cardstock. That could work. But her albums really do last the test of time. Sorry. And they make great gifts. They make great memory books. It's like your own personal scrapbook. And if you want to make them big, oh, she goes big. Now, I'm not going all the way out to the edge. I'm going about 1/4 inch from the edge. Stick it down. And then just burnish with my finger. I can also burnish too here with the burnishing tool, but you don't want to burnish too hard and bend this in. Remember that this is still chipboard. It can still bend. Now, if I had used the chipboard that had that little sway. This would start doing this. That's why I told you on the cover, use a chipboard where it's where it has like a hill than a valley. Okay, so we have that. Now we're going to get into putting on the cover. So I'm going to measure. This is 9 1/8. Oh, I know you guys love that. So we're going to go 8 7/8 of an inch. Yeah, I know. It's the folding over adds height to the cardstock. Anytime you keep folding, you're going to add, putting the cardstock like this is going to add more space. This is why everything has to be accurate. Yeah, I know. And if you cut it short, then it's going to look short. It's going to look, if I was to just say, oh, well, you know, it's 9 inches, I'm going to cut 8 3/4. Once you put it down, you're going to notice how the edges, how the matting starts to look. This is exactly 9 1/8. 1/4 inch down, I'm going to take it to 8 7/8 of an inch. Then that's long, and then wide. Width, I'm at 7 3/4, just about that. So I'm going to go 7 1/2. So 8 7/8 by 7 1/2. 8 7/8 by 7 1/2. The cover should be 7 1/2 inches wide, 8 7/8 of an inch long. I'm going to go 7 1/2 inches wide, which is right here. And then 8 7/8 of an inch, which is, that's 8 3/4, that's 9. You want to go in that middle, that's 8 7/8. There we go. And then cut. So now I'm left with 2 nice pieces. Now in this instance, the pattern is the same no matter the orientation. Of course, if you are now cutting something specific, yes, you're going to have to pay attention to the width and the height. Write it down if you are going to be like, wait a second. You know, you can write down 8 7/8 H high by 7 1/2 wide, and then you just look at where is wide, where is high, just until you get the feel for it, because it's a lot of measuring, and I totally understand that. 7 1/2 by 8 7/8 of an inch. Ooh, yeah. Yesterday I had the most clarity. Day before that, today I'm feeling better than that first day when I was doing the matting the pages. But yeah, I'm not like 100%. Oh gosh, guys, I'm just counting down to like, when is she gonna feel better? I'm asking the same question. When am I gonna feel better? Alrighty, so this is a new roll of my 1/4 inch score tape. So yes, I'm going to mark it. I love to write down. I mean, visually, I know it's a 1/4 inch, but I still mark it just for me. It's my habit, and it's a habit that served me well over the years, because I can work between 4 and 5 rolls at one time. So in this instance, I bought my 3/8 of an inch and my 1/4 inch. And normally I would go 3/8 to 1/2. I'm going to use my 3/8 of an inch on one part of the cover, then I'm going to do my 1/4 inch on the other part. So come close to the edge. Very, very close to the edge, like you're on the edge. Oh, didn't Lady Gaga have a song, I'm on the edge? Oh yes, I'm on the edge of glory. Yeah. Oh, folks, you can tell that my mind is all over the place. Alrighty, see how I'm at the edge? That's what I mean. Put the score tape all the way up to that edge, not over. If it goes over, then roll it in. Okay, there, I'm back down. Alrighty, yes. Yeah, didn't she have a song, I am at the edge of glory or something? Yeah. She's on the edge. Oh, now I'm going to start singing in my mind. All right, I'm stopping. 3/8 of an inch. If you are going to mail this and you have extra score tape, you can do the 1 inch too. Yeah, you can go all the way out there. If this is going to be, you know, something that is going to be looked at, used a lot. Mom is worth it. Alrighty. Now in here, I can go the 1/4 inch. Sometimes I'll do 1 inch all the way around. Usually on a bigger album. Like if I was doing a 10 by 10 by 10.5 something, I do like 1 inch and all of that. But you don't have to go edge to edge. Just enough. That's pretty good. Now I'm going to do it here now for my 1/4 inch. To show it can be done 1/4 inch. Just gonna double it. So your 1/4 inch roll should be able to make this album and do all what you need with no problems. Want to be safe? Get 2 rolls then. If you have a local scrapbook store, yay, go there. Because you won't find this type of score tape at any of the big box shops, big craft stores. You're going to find it only online or in your local scrapbook store. I haven't been to a local scrapbook store in a long time. Mine is about an hour away, and they focus mainly on mixed media. So my mixed media friend, she's just happy. She actually stopped making mini albums, and now she's focusing mainly on mixed media, while me, I'm focusing on cards. Which came out of nowhere. You can thank COVID for that. I've always loved die cutting though, but my die cuts that I used to buy before were always aimed at integrating in my mini albums. That's why I wasn't really buying a lot of small dies. I was always buying big dies. Then little piece here just to grab that middle. What you don't want to do is have nothing in here. This will rise. You need to hold it down. Don't have to hold it down like crazy. It doesn't need edge to edge like the cover, but it will show itself. So if you want, you could also go this route. I'm just showing you real quick. Depending on what the album is, I'll do this too, just to cover more square footage. I'm not using that much more tape. I'm just ensuring a good hold. But if you leave a lot of open space, too much open space, and don't put this piece, oh, it'll start rising. Yeah. Found that out the hard way. Alrighty, so now, let me put my hem tape down here. Let me put this one on the, okay. I'm gonna put the busier one on the back, less busy one on the cover. Because the cover is gonna have a bunch of layers anyway. And tell me below if you're gonna do, put pictures before and give it as a gift, or are you going to go to the event, like, you know, go Mother's Day, or if you're making it for baby shower, you're gonna do the photos after the event and then give it as a gift. Let me know. And also, if you have one of those printers, some people, they have those from your phone. You can take pictures from your phone and then wirelessly send the information to a printer like the Canon Selfie. A lot of crafters have that. I'll link that too then. The Canon Selfie printer. I don't have one, but a lot of crafters have it and they love it. And I'm just speaking from watching them use it at crops. They would print the pictures, but the reason why it was giving issues at a crop is because the Wi-Fi in the conference room sometimes was spotty. And because it's sent Wi-Fi, sometimes they'd be able to work it. So I'd always hear the chatter. But they would then have their scrapbook layout open and then print the pictures and put them in. So that's an option. You could do it selfie, or if your mom is a crafter, you could get her one of the selfie and take a bunch of pictures and then you guys print it out and then put the book together at the same time. Why not? That'd be nice. And we do have a lot of mother-daughter crafters that come to crops and all that. Anyway, but that's an option. And there's also some small ones, but the small ones are going to give you the 2x3. I'm talking full 4x6. That's that Canon Selfie printer. All right, so here is the front cover, page 1. I'm going to turn the album for my sanity, and I'm going to stand up. I just have to. I'm going to raise the cover a little bit. So here I have my fingers again. And these two fingers are going to hold that cover because I don't want to put it on down. I want to level this album. So I'm doing a few things at the same time. Two fingers are holding up the album to square it off flat. These two fingers are now holding the cardstock because once you're playing with score tape, it will grab, and it will grab very quickly. So you just have to kind of look, go. There we go. Right. Take your cover, just lightly burnish. There we go. We're going to flip it over. Going to do the back. I'm going to take off all this score tape. Alrighty, so I have removed all this crazy amount of score tape. And now we're going to adhere back cover. Alrighty, so I'm standing up again. This is another time when the standing up comes back into play. And I'm going to rotate the album. If your cover is like too big, too small, put back that score tape on before you trim it, resize it. Okay, here I go. See again, I have my two fingers here on the inside. Let me focus the camera properly. Two fingers there on the inside holding, and the two fingers underneath. So all four fingers are working. Okay, kind of eyeball it. Centered. Am I centered? I'm not centered here at all. Ooh. I'm gonna let it go because I have on way too much tape. Alrighty, there you go. There's the back cover. It's a little lean there, but it's the back. Thank goodness. And alrighty, so there we are now. There's a cover. There's a back cover. Then now we need to do the spine. The spine is going to be, 2 inches. So I'd say 1 3/4, just a hair over 1 3/4 by that same 8 7/8. 1 3/4 by 8 7/8. But just a hair over 1 3/4. That's the wrong height. Hold on, let me find a piece that gives me the right height. So 1 3/4. I have a choice here. Do I want it full pattern? Do I want half a pattern? Let me see. I'm going to go half a pattern. Go about there. There we go. I can test it. It's a little over 1 3/4 by 8 7/8. Okay, see how much white space is there? That's not good. That's a lot. So I'm going to go closer to 1 7/8. So, alrighty, we're going to go 1 7/8 by 8 7/8. I know. I'm killing you guys with the 7/8 of an inch. It's the cardstock that's causing the additional height. So 1 7/8 of an inch. So you're going to middle 1 3/4. Maybe make sure that we're in focus. We're going to middle that 1 3/4 by 2, and then go down here that middle. That's that 1 7/8. And this is 8 7/8. That's from bad cutting. Bad cutting. Test it. Yeah, that looks good to me. That looks decent to me. Let me go 3/8 of an inch. Let me go 1/4 inch. Let me stay in the 1/4 inch realm. And again, put the tape, double-sided tape to the edge. And, piece in the middle. Don't leave it hollow. Just don't leave it hollow. Trust me. It's gonna come back to bite you. So just at least do one down the center. If you want, you can do one here, and you could do one here. That's pretty decent hold right there. That's good enough. Wet glue, no. Wet glue is gonna start warping. You're gonna see. With this amount of distance, the wet glue may pose a problem. Give it a try. if you're making a sample album before you make the real album, use it there and then you'll be like, oh yeah, yeah. Trust me, I've done wet glue a lot and it just always disappoints. even with the art glitter, which is supposed to be you know, no warp. No warp in certain doses. But when you're covering this kind of distance and the paper is not thick, it then poses a problem. I'm going to just nip this off. It had cardstock with it. It's going to show itself. Because this pattern paper is not the most thickest in the world, it shows itself. Meaning any little ridge or bump is going to show through. Alrighty, and I'm going to take my cover like so. So I kind of stand the album this way. And then I come on centered again. I'm standing up. Sometimes I'll put it in between my legs. I know, like lock it with my knees. I shouldn't say in between my legs. Let me stop laughing. I'll lock it with my knees and then do it seated, but I don't really. Standing up better. There we go. Okay, and there it is. There's your cover. And then there's my little string to tie. I can already tell I use way too much, but it's better to be long. You can always trim it down. Short, you're gonna have a problem. Just burnish, burnish, burnish. And the album cover is done, but not done. Let me look at what because I know this is not a 1/4 inch. I wanted to enjoy some of the green, so let me go by this. I did 7 inches wide by, let me make sure that I'm all nice and focused because I can see the camera's probably like, the phone's gonna go crazy. 7 inches wide by, I have, yeah, 8 3/8. Oh boy, I know. Don't lose it, don't lose it. 7 inches wide by 8 3/8. 8 3/8 is going to be bigger than 8 1/4, but less than 8 1/2. So I can go 7 inches wide, like so. 7 inches wide, and 8 3/8 will be a hair under that 8 1/2 right there. So it's going to be between 8 1/4 and 8 1/2. Let me zoom the camera down so you can see what I'm saying. Because we haven't done 8 3/8. That's why I'm showing you. So you can think of it this way. Here is 8 inches. 8 1/8, 8 3/8, 8 5/8, 8 7/8. And they're all the halfway points of the quarter. So 8 inches, 8 1/4, that's 8 1/8. 8 1/4 to 8 1/2. The in between here, that's 8 3/8. There's 8 5/8, and there's 8 7/8. So now I'm going to show you, go up to 8 1/4 and bump it up to that middle spot right there. That's going to be your 8 3/8 of an inch. Takes a little getting used to, and then you'll be like, oh, no problem. But it does make a difference. And this would be an eighth of an inch off. Alrighty. And if you still have like, if you're still like, oh my gosh, I didn't understand that, let me know in the comments and I can pop it again in a video and we'll film the whole thing down here, like to really get a good feel for it. Okay, so my cover, okay, that's the back. Here's my cover. Always look where your cover is. Go back inside, double check, make sure your orientation is correct before you start going. Mistakes can happen. Oh, yes, they can. There was one album, Kathy had words on it on the front. She stuck it upside down. So even mini album queen, yes, it can happen. It can happen very easily. And I've done stuff myself too that I'm like, okay, I can't take that back now. It's like, but when it comes to sentiments, words, in any graphic that has to line a certain way, always double check your orientation before you go. Notice now, I didn't even mess. No messing about with ATG gun. I did straight score tape. All for the cover. This is the one that's going to take a lot of wear and tear. Score tape all the way. Score tape all the way. Now, if you want, because I did think about it, but then I didn't do it. I would have done it, if I was just making this album, just me, I would have probably put a mat in here with chipboard, just to give a little height. And notice I said chipboard, I didn't mean foam. Foam is going to start doing this over time. Chipboard is going to give you one solid application. Just a piece of chipboard and then mat the whole assembly like so, if you want to get a little height. But to keep it simple, I didn't do it. I'm just mentioning that to you now, if you want to add it. So you would cut a piece of chipboard and mat it onto here. Then more score tape, and then go on. That's what I mean when I say chipboard. And that's something actually, using chipboard on the cover and adding it up, that's something I learned from Frank Garcia. Yeah, I did a workshop cruise. Lovely. And he's really, really sweet and really patient and a great teacher. And he, you know, he uses the pre-made mini albums. And then for the cover, if you've ever seen any of Frank Garcia's stuff, and you can just type in his name and you'll see lots of flowers. Let me show you. This is like, it's like these type of flowers on the front and in the album, and beautiful, and pearls, and then he'll do all kinds of embellishments. But when he was making this part to create the height, the matting, he was using chipboard. I didn't do it because I wanted to keep it just more easy. And if you're on a budget and you're only buying 2 sheets of chipboard, I didn't want to add on that extra step. Maybe for the Father's Day, because I am seriously thinking of doing a Father's Day mini album. And my, yes, I'm going all the way out. And my father isn't here, but I can still do a mini album for him. I can put pictures from the past and have it as a memory album. Why not? That's the whole point of this, is memory. I have seen people use, there was one crafter, she was at a crop making a beautiful vintage style scrapbook, the whole scrapbook, but you know, page by page, and she was using like graphic 45. And if you guys know graphic 45 paper, it's all vintage and beautiful. And then she had all these photographs like 1910. And I'm like, is that the original? She said, no. She made copies of the original and then put them together in the album. And then she, you know, had lace. She put lace below the photograph. Things like that. That's just, oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Lots of beautiful black and white photographs. And then because she had copies, of course, she could die cut an oval, put it in an oval frame, use an ornate frame to look like the time. I know there's a deco, kind of a deco paper. I think she used that and something else from Graphic 45, but it was really pretty. You know, you walk around a crop and you get so many ideas because people are doing all kinds of stuff. Oh, different kinds of things. There we go. Now I'm going to center. See how I'm standing up? Yes, I am standing up. Again, double fingers and then my finger here to bring up the lid. Because if I do it at this angle, you know, I feel better. More flat. I feel even. I feel even. Be confident. There you go. Be confident in feeling even. Let me come back up. I didn't even realize I didn't raise the camera up. Alrighty, so I was on the edge doing it. I'm going to show you again anyway because we have now the pattern. So here, you could raise this up. Now, at first, I had a few options. So I'm going to show you my options. I was going to do it like this. So let's put the original album beside it so you can see where my thinking was, and then you can decide now at this juncture, what do you want? I was thinking flowers go out this way, sentiment here. That looks nice. I was also thinking flowers here, sentiment there. But there is a difference. Then now, this now is using this style. So there is 2 different styles of flowers. I use a smaller bouquet. This is a bigger bouquet, okay? If I go like this, I was thinking of this, but this to me here looks upside down. Are you noticing it? It just looks, it looked better to me this way. And that's what I ended up using, where it spread out this way, and then I put the Happy Mother's Day. If I was to use this pattern, I would probably go, yeah, I would probably do here, because everything looks like it's blooming out this way. Here it looks, I don't know. These look funny. They look more in place here. So just orient the page and see what speaks to you. I liked this version of it. That's the one I'm gonna cut again. So that's this. Alrighty, and I did take off a little bit of the pink. I think it was a little bit on the pink heavy. All right, I know I'm gonna have to do a 1/8 of an inch again because I'm gonna mat in here. So we're gonna cut this pattern paper down to 6 3/4 inches wide by 8 1/8 inches tall. Yeah, I'm gonna show you again. It's the cardstock. Okay, crafters, so after you decide which floral arrangement you want, I decided this one at this orientation. That one I used to do the inside tag. Let me show you, which I think it made a beautiful tag actually. It made this, using it at that angle. Yeah, so I actually cut this down and made it with that. And I think that's a stunning piece by itself. Just a pretty tag. Alrighty, so I'm gonna cut this now. And my Fiskars does not go out to the width. I'm going to have to measure. This needs to be cut at 6 3/4 inches wide by 8 1/8 inches tall. Let me write that out. So when you're working with that pattern paper, you're working with a cover. Sometimes it's good to write 6 3/4 by 8 1/8 in 6 3/4 wide, high. I do this all the time, especially for chipboard, just to keep my cut right, that I don't waste the chipboard, because I have to do that, you know, balancing the chipboard. So at 6 3/4, that's where this trimmer gets a little hairy. Yes, I could use a pencil and mark it. No, I'm not going to do that. You could, if you have this trimmer, you can go ahead and mark it. I don't want to add more steps to all the other steps that I have in my life by by using a ruler and measuring it out and then cutting it with my trimmer. No, my trimmer should be able to handle it. So this one I'm going to use. That's why I have more than one trimmer. But my Caterpillar, I decided not to bring, because the Caterpillar is so big that filming and putting it in and out, it's just bigger. You know, in my real life, I work with that all the time. But here it's like too much. If I had a rotor trim, it would be off to the side, because that thing is a solid state. It's just big, bulky, but it's a serious trimmer. Alrighty, so this is the corner I'm going to use. I am going to take off a hair of this pink. I think it has just a bit too much noise. So I'm going to go 1/8 of an inch. There I am at 11 7/8. I can see it on my, right there. I can see it right there. Just 1/8 of an inch off. Or you can just eyeball it. So that's a little smidge. The smidge again. And I'm going to do a smidge from the bottom too. And one thing that's nice about this Tim Holtz ruler, trimmer, do you notice how the arm just stays up? It doesn't collapse. Yeah, so it is made well, and I've had this for a while, and it has traveled with me in my crop bag, and knock on wood, let me knock on wood, it hasn't done anything you know, slipped. But if this was slipping, you wouldn't see me operating it like that. 6 3/4 inches wide, but this one stays up nice. 8 1/4 inches, 8 1/8. So here we are. That's 8. That's 8 1/4, right there in the middle. 8 1/8. If you want, if you're interested, let me know if you want me to, if this measurement thing is still kind of not so clear to you, let me know, and I can do a video where I zoom down and we go, you know, we just really get even more in depth into measuring, because it plays a part. And you know what I found out the other day? We've all been saying, oh, slimline cards are 8.5, you know, by 8.5 by 3.5. It's actually 8 5/8 by I think it's 3 5/8. And I was like, oh no. That's why everybody kept it, just take the 7 inches and score it down the middle and just kept it simple, because once you start doing the 8 5/8 and you have to score that in half, it's like, oh no. But that's the original size. I was like, no, it's okay. Found that out the other day. I was like, oh, I didn't want to even go there. But it's good to know, especially when you're doing this type of stuff. So at this point, that's how my cover is going to look. If you want, you can resize this and have more of a border. So you could take off a quarter, you know, like 3/8 of an inch all the way around. You can take off 1/2 inch all the way around. If you wanted, like if you had this much space, you could put white behind here. So you could have white on the outside, the green, the pink, the white. Let me get a piece of white cardstock so I can do a little fun sidebar. So you could mat it again and then come in one more time. You see? Does that appeal to you? You can make your matting super thin, like so. So we'd go from there, here, here, here. You could, so this would actually be 1, 2, 3, three layers of matting before we put this top one on. And you could also go wider. I don't like it wide. I think it's too wide. But you could just, you know, you can play with this however you choose. You could add glitter. You guys know I would do glitter, but I decided to rail in my glitter. And just keep it simple, because I think this is just so gorgeous anyway. Alrighty, now we're going to add the adhesive. The adhesive is going to be, yes, Scor-Tape. Again, all corners and in the middle. Scor-Tape, Scor-Tape, Scor-Tape. Right to the edge. So then you won't get lift. Now would Frank Garcia, he would probably do chipboard behind that pink and chipboard behind this one. But then the more chipboard you add is the more weight you're adding to that front too. So keep that in mind too. So if you want to do one, I would do one layer. I wouldn't do 2 layers of chipboard with the existing chipboard. This is not magical chipboard. It's not triple heavyweight chipboard. You know, I have made 1 or 2 albums, not many, where it was a tutorial by Kathy where she did double chipboard. We would take the chipboard and we would put the Scotch tacky glue and glue 2 pieces of chipboard together and make it super strong. But I noticed I did like maybe 2 tutorials with her on that, and then after that I didn't see it again. I think it starts to make it heavy. And when things get heavy, that's when gravity starts to come into it. Like, you know, maybe over time it started doing the valley in the chipboard from the just having 2 pieces and then the glue, who knows. Alrighty, so that's good enough. I'm going to remove the tape backing, but that's an option. If your chipboard is too thin, you can double your chipboard. I would pre-cut them first though. If you don't have that Premier trimmer that I have, that heavy duty chipboard trimmer that I use, then I would pre-cut all the chipboard and then glue them together. And still paying attention to your soft side and your stiff side. I would still pay attention to all of that, write out all the measurements, write out what is wide, what is high, and then do double chipboard. So if you want to take your medium weight chipboard and maybe double it up just to make this album just a little bit more sturdy, you could. But right now, with all this matting on both sides and the bezel, it's pretty, mommy's solid. She's solid. She's good. Now, before I adhere this, I'm going to open up my album to make sure that I'm not here in the back and I'm not upside down. This is page 1. That's the inside cover. Flip it back. Even though I have the ribbon, I still want to check, just check that you're not putting it around the back. And because this, even if I had accidentally put this on the back, I can fix this. But once I start putting the cover on the back, it's like, no, no, no. It's just no, 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 no. And you want to make sure that you're just not, that your orientation is good. Better to always double check your work. Again, 2 fingers, 2 other fingers holding here. And I'm going to center, center, center. Okay, hold on. And I'm standing up and doing this, just trying to see, just trying to get it centered. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. And there we are. Cover done. Yay! Light over this side because of all the gold foiling, but I can burnish, and I'm not burnishing with a ton of crazy weight. Now here, for the cover, for the tying, this album I actually, because I understand to tie a ribbon you need to tie left-handed. Like, let me show you. See, I would normally go right. I'm going to go left. So I was practicing this because I'm not a good ribbon person. Yeah, I did like I'm doing it on camera now and I can't get it. Okay, so I did like this, and I did it left-handed. I had my left hand being the dominant hand with the ribbon. Okay, there we go. See? Left-handed. And then now I have these long tails, so now I can cut my tails. Yes, it looks like I'm in focus. Bring this down a little bit. That looks pretty decent. I'm going to take these 2 tails, and now I'm going to snip. There we go. Now I can fix my tail if I want. You can put that that no fray thing if you want. I'm not going to bother with all of that, but you could. That's in the fabric section as well. It's a little bottle. It'll be close to where that hem tape is, and it's called No Fray. You put it on the edge of the ribbon here. If some people like to use matches too, I don't know if this organza will catch fire. I have no clue. I'm not finding out. But some people do run heat to seal it. Some people will use the fray, No Fray, which is a liquid, and you just put it here and then it will like harden on it, and that causes it. I'm leaving it. I'm fine. This album has been opened and closed a bunch of times, and she's a little frayy, but she's not crazy. Alrighty? Okay, crafters, so we did the cover. And now all you have this space though. So that's where my cat scrappiness die came into play. Alrighty? In the next video, I'm going to show you how to do the tags, because that's fun. That's going to be a separate video. Alrighty, crafters. So we have finished the album. This is it. This is it. Now the next video, actually, we're going to do the inserts and the tags, okay? And there's a little bow. Practice your left tying, because that's actually not so bad. But you have to go, instead of going right, like how we always use our right hand to tie a bow, just go left-handed. It's going to feel weird at first, and it did for me. I've tied this thing a couple of times, so now it's starting to feel a little better, and that's not looking so bad. Alrighty, crafters. So until the next video, spend your weekend, get this done. Alrighty, crafters. Bye.